So on the interior of this new Smart #5, we're looking at a good sized leather wrap steering wheel, also Mercedes-Benz style column shifter, two giant screens, just like the ones you would find in the new Mercedes CLA platform. There's also two wireless phone charging pad, nice cute looking key, I gotta say. There is also a sunglasses holder, so I don't have to worry about my sunglasses getting scratched up because it is soft liner inside. Very nice to see. Now, we've said that this car has two different platforms, one being the LFP battery sitting on 400 volt architecture. The other one is the tester we have for today, is 800 volt architecture. Only the top two trims gives you 4-wheel drive and 2 electric motors. This one on 800 volts, it still has one single electric motor in the back. There is also a Brabus edition, but that doesn't seem to be here just yet. Now, as I've mentioned, you also have the 20-speaker Sennheiser sound system surround sound, and we'll get a chance to test that out very soon. This is probably one of the better systems in this price range, considering that Beats did a good job collaborating with Smart back in their #1 and #3. So I wouldn't be surprised if this Sennheiser sound system sounds equally, if not better, than the Beats surround sound. So everything you see in the interior is very smooth, very luxurious, soft touch all around. There's also wood trim in the center as well as on the door liner. Now, for both front seats in this trim, it's massaged, heated, and ventilated. It's very nice to see at this price range. Now, this car has a good enough amount of physical buttons, especially for seat adjustments and safety controls like your headlight, your frunk, and your trunk, door opener. But everything that you see are missing in terms of physical buttons. You could expect to find them in the center screen. If not, you could use the voice assistant feature that is very fast and smooth, as I just demonstrated for the sun visor. 打开遮阳帘. There you have it. Of course, as I expected, it's a very responsive and very fast system. Now this car does have a frunk, so let's show you what this frunk looks like. So this being an EV, this frunk size is pretty decent. There's also a cargo net, a tiny cargo net here, so you could put maybe 2 or 3 water bottles there, depending on the size. Seems like it's pretty well insulated here, so I wouldn't be worried about your stuff moving around and making too much noise that you could hear in the cabin. There's also a lot of indicators showing your brake fluid, your battery fluid. There's your 12-volt battery probably under here, windshield washer fluid. It's very nice to see that being a fully electric EV platform, it offers you a frunk, a decent sized frunk, also room and also indicators for service. There is a Brabus edition that will probably look very different on the exterior. It will be more sporty, of course. Retractable door handles. I gotta say, getting in and out of the Smart #5 is really, really easy. It is an SUV, but it's sitting just a bit lower than regular SUVs, like that EQE 500 SUV. So it gives you a very, very easy entering and exit. That being said, there is no need to have a stepping guard on the side. So that is very nice to see at this price range. So now we're on the outside of this new Smart #5. Just like any other Smart, the trunk release button is embedded in the A button. Of course, it's fully electric. Now you're greeted with this huge, big back of this 2-row SUV with a hidden storage down here. It's quite deep. It's a lot of stuff. You can put charging cable. You could probably put a water bucket here as well. Now on the side, you have a one-touch fold of the rear seats. And now this one isn't quite the same as other higher end cars and more expensive cars, in a way that if you fold the seats here, you do have to manually go to the front to put them back. But that's enough talking. Let's see how the Smart drives on the road. So now we're behind the driver's seat of this new Smart #5, and let's see how this one drives. So just like any other Mercedes-Benz and Smart, you have a column-mounted gear shifter. Very satisfying and interesting turn signal sound. Listen to this. Nice. Also, seat adjustment is on the door. It's also a big head-up display in the front. Now, this car from interior is very nice. It smells very nice. There's no that new car or any other cheap plastic feeling. Everything is soft touch, real wood, huge, giant AC vents. I love this. Look at this. Absolutely amazing. Now, this one is the 800-volt architecture, so it only has one rear motor in the back. Now, if you go for higher trims, you are going to have all-wheel drive, but those are only the top 2 trims, except the Brabus edition. So, just like any other EV, you are going to hear some motor humming noise that's made to protect the pedestrians. Now, we'll attempt to find a straight road here, and hopefully we can see how quickly this one gets up to speed. Now we are starting in sport mode, but in order to change pretty much anything on the interior, you can use the voice assistant. So, 你好 Smart， 调至舒适模式。So there, it's very easy, very smooth. Now this does have AMD chip and Qualcomm Snapdragon, so that makes this probably one of the best infotainment system and one of the fastest responding one. Now, I did test drive the Xiaomi U7 on the same stretch of road as well as the BMW i3, so I'm quite familiar with this stretch of road at this point. Now, it is a Monday morning, so there will be quite some traffic, but let's see if we can get a chance to see how quickly this one gets off the line. 你好 Smart， 调至运动模式。And did you hear that? When you change the driving modes, it also makes a noise. That's very nice. Along with this turn signal, I just want to keep activating the turn signal. It's so good that Smart is being kind of a cute brand-ish, merging with some sportiness and some confidence. It's giving you all these fun features. Now, in the front, you have a augmented reality or a SR center display that also shows you the red light. So you can pretty much see all the cars surrounding you. If you activate your ACC, adaptive cruise control, you can adjust your following speed, your following distance, and everything that's safety measurements are still hard buttons on the steering wheel. Same with your window control and seat adjustments on the door. Now, both front seat for this trim has massage, heated and ventilated seats. You could also change that in the center screen as well. It's just probably going to take me a while to find it because everything is touch screen, the door mirror adjustments, even the surround sound system. So this does have the 20 speaker Sennheiser audio system, and I'd assume that is quite good. We'll get a chance to listen to this in just a bit, see if you can compete with the other Chinese-made audio brand, or if even it can touch the Mercedes-Benz Burmester. Now that we have just a chance on this straight road, let's see how quickly we can get this one up to speed. So I'm gonna gently slow down a bit. Slow down a bit. 3, 2, 1. So yeah, this being a one motor rear wheel drive, it picks up instantly. Of course, it's an EV. Then once you get up to about 50 or 45 miles per hour, you are gonna start losing some of that acceleration. Let's see if we could get a chance to do a acceleration off the line. Then when you're in sport mode, which is the sportiest setting of this car, the steering wheel is heavier than usual, but it stays centered quite well. Now, if you do sudden lane change, yeah, you do feel the car's body moving a bit because it's still, the #5 is a 2-row bigger SUV. I would consider this to be a mid-size SUV, considering how small and tiny the Smart 1 and hashtag 3 are. But now that we are finally at a red light, so when you press hard on the brake when you're stopped, the auto hold feature is automatically engaged. So let's see how quickly we can get this one up to speed from a dig. Now, sport mode is the sportiest setting. Everything you see can be adjusted on the screen. You have eco, comfort, sport. I like how everything, the ambient, even the third passenger screen, the background changes between different drive modes. You can change how heavy your steering wheel is, automatic, soft, comfortable, and of course heavier. Also regenerative braking level. So you can put it on almost no regen, we can put it on high, which does simulate a one pedal drive, but in order to come to a complete stop, you do have to put your foot on the brake. Also the braking pressure, sport as well. Let's see how quickly we can get this one off the line. There, now, just like any other EVs, when you're going over potholes or anything that lifts your wheel up, if you have the regenerative braking in strong mode, it does cut power just a bit. Now, this is something that's quite interesting I've noticed in a lot of, especially the Chinese-made EVs. I haven't seen that issue in Teslas or in the Mercedes EQE, but yes, the Smart hashtag 5 just had the same issue. So now I have the recuperation in strong mode. Let's see if this one does allow me to bring the car to a complete stop. So as I'm letting off the accelerator, the regenerative braking is kicking in. You also see a energy meter at the bottom that shows you if you're accelerating, spending energy, or if you are recharging the battery. It's quite nice. When there's a car on your side, the blind spot monitoring camera also shows up. Now, if you've seen my Xiaomi E7 video, you know that this road is very popular for getting your driver's license. So we see one here, and there's also one up at the intersection waiting to make a left turn, or probably a U-turn. I think I understand which way they're going. So now I'm just cruising along, right? So I'm using the region as much as I can. I don't know if any of you viewers that drive EVs, do you play the game of trying to see how much gas pedal you can release or how much regen brake you can use to come to a stop before you have to touch the brakes? Because I play this game all the time. I am trying my best to not touch the brakes, but just like I said, even when you have your regen mode in strong, the car is not gonna bring you to a complete stop. So that's a good feature to have for the market, because in that way, when you put the car in reverse gear, you don't have to keep your foot on the gas to reverse, because that's something I consider very dangerous. Now, all the Teslas in China have this feature as well. They have a stopping mode, so you could change to have creeping forward or stopping. So this car, it's set to be creeping forward. There's also S pedal. I think that, yes. So S pedal, it says that the regen is even stronger, but still, in certain areas, it's still not a true one pedal drive. Now let's see how this one feels. So it's kind of interesting if you've driven any like Mercedes-Benz EVs or BMW iX, you know that those regions can be controlled by some buttons on the steering wheel or pedals. So in this mode, it's the strongest regen setting in a way that the gas pedal feels kind of weird. So it's almost like when someone put a stopping block at your gas pedal. So now it's much heavier, and also in the head-up display you are seeing that it says S pedal as well as here. So this lets you know that if now there's no one behind us, if you let off the gas pedal, the car is using as much regen as possible to bring you to a stop, and there we have it. This is the true one pedal drive. Now I did notice that during this whole time the brake lights were not on, and I'm not quite sure if that is something that's normal for this car to have, or it's just that the brake lights are activating even in strong one pedal drive mode. It's just that it's not showing here. that seems to be the same issue I've seen on the Mercedes EVs. So there, in this mode, I can come to a complete stop without having to touch the brakes at all. So I actually saw that the brake lights came on for just a bit. I think it's just a misindication or misinterpretation on my end on how well this display shows your brake status. But that's pretty much it, guys. I think this smart #5, no, that's a new Tesla Model Y. I think this smart #5, it's much better in terms of how well it handles, as smart has this sporty nature, and now it has a big two-row, so you could put your family members, you can stuff things in the trunk very easily. Like I showed you earlier, this one also has a frunk. It's quite spacious, it's very nice, decently sized and padded for a EV. Let me know what you guys think about this new smart #5, and I will test out the Sennheiser sound system right now. So now let's test out the 20-speaker Sennheiser surround sound system. I'm expecting this to be much better than the Beats system you could find in the Smart number 1 and 3, but let's see if it can compete with the Burmester surround sound system. So wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is standard on all Smart number 5, so it's relatively smooth, easy to use, and this infotainment system also allows you to change into English mode, so that is quite nice. That means that this car, although it's made and manufactured in China by the Geely Auto Group, it is future-proof in a way that it can be exported to pretty much any country that use English. And everything is not just simple Google Translate level, it's actually good and decent. You can see your driving assistant package, rear collision mitigation, everything, and ambient lighting. Everything is very intuitive, very easy to use. Your exterior and interior lights, reading lights, everything is LED, as well as smart quick control. You could change your head-up display, door mirror adjustments. You can even open the frunk. And when spec'd and equipped this car, you do see the roof rails. That is an optional add-on. In the settings, you have 3 different sound effect adjustments. You can choose studio, live, vocal. Also, immersion level, there are 3 different. Adjust the bass. You could choose where the focus center is for the speakers. Volume adjustments, you can have equalizer adjustment. There's only 3 bands in a way that has bass, mid-range, and treble, so not quite sure which exact hertz these are, but that is quite adequate for a infotainment system at this price range. Now, let's see how this one performs. Now there is a subwoofer in the trunk that's making substantial differences when you are changing the different bass level. That is very noticeable from the driver's seat. Now, when you have audio playing, the center Sennheiser mid-range also pops up in a way that's kind of like the Mercedes S-Class. You have the Burmester twister coming up, and the Audi, you have the Bang & Olufsen twister on the side coming up. This is very nice, very luxurious. There's also ambient lighting coming up on the speakers. Now, I also play a quick sound test of a music that is copyright striked by YouTube. So this is where this video ends. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what the car you want to see in the future,